Jews wept for the restoration of the glory of Zion. Through the ages, the Jews made pilgrimages to all these places, filled with holy memories, to add their prayers to those of their ancestors, that the scattered children of Israel be gathered again into the shelter of their own homeland. The holiest place is the Wailing Wall. Yesterday, prisoners of the ghetto, prisoners of their own false hopes. Tomorrow, they will march to their work in the Jewish settlements, to build roads, to quarry stones. They will drill wells and bring the hidden water, the most precious treasure, out of the depths of the earth, to restore to Palestine's soil its long neglected fruitfulness. They are going to Haifa, the great new seaport of the East. To the all-Jewish city of Tel Aviv, to the new Jewish settlements, jubilantly to work. And with the most modern machinery, the Jews are bringing back to Palestine its long neglected fruitfulness. A people separated from nature for 2,000 years returns to live with her in happy communion. The settlements, founded only a few years ago by pioneer workers, have become self-supporting, proving that Jews can be most efficient tillers of the soil. The new generation is being brought up in the same spirit which brought their parents back to the soil. Famous above all are the cooperative colonies of Palestine, where a national idealism is linked with a social idealism, and the work of every man and woman is directed to a social and not a personal goal. Out of these cooperative colonies will come undoubtedly new forms of human organization, valuable to the Jewish homeland and instructive to the rest of the world. Not less wonderful than the Jewish colonies of Palestine are the Jewish cities, of which Tel Aviv, with its more than 100,000 inhabitants, stands in the place which was wilderness 25 years ago, sands and cactus where jackals roamed. It is a city still expanding, still spreading north and south and east, still changing sandy wastes into busy streets. The women pioneers of Palestine demand and obtain an equal share of the hardest work. On the land, they are plowwomen, stone breakers, road workers, and in the cities, they are masons, bricklayers, and builders. The transformation of the ancient Orient into the modern world is seen with most startling effect in Tel Aviv. Camels are still in use, but they are being replaced by trucks, buses, cars, bicycles, and motorcycles. Tel Aviv, like many American cities, has its grade crossing problem, and for the same reason, it grew much faster than anyone foresaw. Only 25 years old, Tel Aviv already has historic periods. There are pioneer shops of 10 and 15 years ago where housewives, newly arrived in Palestine, took their first Hebrew lessons. The lessons still continue, but the shops have changed, and the goods they contain are to a larger and larger extent being manufactured in Palestine. Part of the steadily expanding industry of Palestine are only an index of the tremendous possibilities which are created by bringing together the Jewish people and the Jewish homeland. Anglo-Palestine Bank, the largest Jewish bank in the country, is not run for private profit. It is the outgrowth of Theodor Herzl's idea of a Jewish national bank. It is dedicated to the service of the country, and with its branches in every city in Palestine, it takes a leading part in promoting industry and commerce. Hebrew everywhere, in the shop, the office, the telephone, the telegraph, the composing room of the daily newspapers. There are papers representing every shade of public opinion. One of these papers is Davar, the labor newspaper. is the a symbol today of Palestine's extraordinary progress. And the interest it has awakened is evident in the flags of the nations which have their pavilions in this first modern international fair of the Orient. For Palestine, the most important pavilion is, of course, the Totzeret Haaretz, the Home Industries Pavilion. The visitor is amazed to see that a country which 15 years ago had to import almost every kind of industrial product has learned to meet its own needs. And Palestine has a growing export trade too. And thus, one of the long neglected corners of the world is being transformed into a great productive center. Tel Aviv begins its business week Sunday morning and ends it Friday afternoon. Then the Jews buy flowers to adorn their homes for the Sabbath. On days of rest in Tel Aviv, the population streams toward the seashore. The Tel Aviv beach is the greatest place of recreation in Palestine. It ranks now as a resort with the Lido of Venice, America's Atlantic City, and England's Brighton Beach as a world attraction. It draws not only Tel Avivians and Palestinians generally, but visitors from every country in the world. There is a new Jerusalem springing up outside the old. Among the forces building it is the Nathan Strauss Health Center, administered by Hadassah, the Women's Zionist Organization of America. But the nerve centers of the new Jewish Palestine are the Jewish Agency, the Jewish National Fund, and the Palestine Foundation Fund. Open to students of all races and religions, the Hebrew University and its library answer the deep inner need of the Jewish homeland. The scientific study of local soil, local plant, and animal life is carried on at the Daniel Seat Institute, directed by Dr. Chaim Weizmann. The whole Near East will benefit, not less than Palestine, from these researches. Palestine trains its own engineers, architects, and experts. This was the dream of the earliest colonizers of Palestine when they founded the famous technical school of Haifa. The future managers and foremen of Palestine's industries are being trained in the workshops of the technical school. They learn to handle machines by practical methods and not by theory alone. Fields of oranges, or as they are called in Hebrew, golden apples, cover the land where 10 years ago not even thistles grew. Over 7 million cases of golden apples were shipped out of Palestine this season, and the yield grows from year to year. But the grapes of Palestine are as old as the land itself. They were famous in ancient times. They have become famous again, and equally famous are the wines of Rishon and Carmel. When the grain and the fruit harvests are in, the Jewish festival is celebrated as it was in the ancient days of the temple. In Haifa, at the head of the valley of Jezreel, the Palestinian Thanksgiving is observed amid colorful scenes. The wanderers of 2,000 years have come home. In their homeland, they express their gratitude for the new life which is theirs, and for the promise which it holds out to millions of exiles scattered throughout the world. The fulfillment of an ancient dream.
יחד, יחד.